everyone, and welcome to Steppe Gold's live investment summit today, hosted by SIX. I'm pleased to introduce our speakers for today, Bataa Tumur-Ochir, President and CEO, and Aneel Waraich, Executive Vice President. They're joining us live from Mongolia to provide us with a 15-minute shareholder brief, and afterwards, our presenters will be accepting questions. As a reminder, you can submit your questions at any time using the Q&A panel found on the right-hand side of your screen. As always, the summit is being recorded and will be available to watch afterwards on six.com. Now, without further ado, I'll hand it over to Bataa to kick things off.
Okay. Thank you very much for having me, and thank you everybody for joining us today. And so the latest updates would be, we announced we came back in full production March 1st. So starting from March, we received the reagents, and actually now we're receiving the fourth one. Just now, 2 hours ago, we just received another new batch of reagents to the country, and it will be shipped to the site. And so far, we have on the leach bed we have 33,000 ounces of gold, recoverable gold, and the ROM bed we have 10,000 and 23,000 ounces of recoverable gold in the blasted ATO 1 and 4 pits. So as of March 31st, we do have 76,000 ounces of recoverable gold underground. So even though we had some reagent issues last year, we haven't stopped the mining, crushing, and leaching. So now this year we have enough material to complete the targeting 20,000 ounces this year. So far the production is going well, and so far it's good. Yeah.
Excellent. Thanks, Bataa. So on the other updates here, I'd like to, obviously I'm here in country for the first time in 2.5 years. So it's great to be back in the country. Certainly a lot of things are happening here. We've seen recent news, obviously, with further investment from majors around the world into Mongolia. We've been able to bring a few banking partners and analysts on site this last week, which has obviously been a big vote of confidence for people to make the trip over here in this time and get to see our site in action. Just a few days ago, everything was on site, was going at the same time. We're obviously sprinkling with the cyanide. We're mining, we're crushing, we're stacking. So lots going on, and we're now back to 2 gold pours per month. March was our first month of production. April ending shortly. We'll have our another gold pour later this week, and we look forward to updating the market. I guess probably later next week, early May, on operational updates, full operational updates for the month of April. Confirming obviously the additional shipments of reagents to the gold pours and what those numbers, the high level numbers look like as well. So we look forward to updating you further. But we're very happy to be here, to have analysts on site, to see more than pictures, to meet the team, both here in our head office here where I'm right now, but also on site where we have about 225 people on site. So very exciting time as we ramp up and start up our operations on phase 1, continue our path on phase 2, and obviously as of an hour or so ago, we released an exploration update. So the drilling from late last year, we received our results, and this is obviously a big win for our company here, being able to identify high-grade zinc discoveries. Some are fairly shallow, and obviously some are at depth. So that's open pittable and underground. When it comes to underground, grade matters, and we certainly have shown that. And I think most importantly is we already announced in October of last year that we were building flotation plants to process zinc and lead and produce zinc and lead concentrates with precious metals content. And here we now have, I guess, uncovered quite some significant milestone intercepts of zinc. These are quite significant, and that can be, I guess, value add to our already phase 2 infrastructure. So this is a big benefit to us. It'll increase our revenue and potentially even our mine life here. And we're already getting drill rigs back on site to continue drilling on all deposits. So quite exciting time for us with this update. Other than that, I think, we wanted to keep this brief in terms of updates. We are updating on a monthly basis in terms of operations, in terms of production and cash flow and ounces we produce. And that's continuing. And we're very excited with having a big inventory buildup. But I think what's quite exciting is now being able to drill again and seeing the results that we have just put out. There's a lot of room for growth here, as we always expected, and hopefully over the coming quarters we can continue to update the market on additional exploration, hopefully it's precious metals and base metals, and all that leads to mine life extension and growth and revenue growth. So quite excited here. It's great to be back in country, and with that, I think we're okay to open up to questions.
So just add on to that, in 2020 we were purely focusing on ATO production, and 2021 last year we had some lockdowns and travel restrictions. So this year we're planning to do aggressive exploration programs on both ATO, as Aneel said, and plus also planning to commence production on UK. So we're planning everything's in place right now. So soon we will going to release more and more exploration updates for the shareholders.
Yeah, that's right. But so besides ATO, we're now going to have exploration coming from our maiden drilling from our UK license in the coming months. That's a big deal for us. It's being funded from our own cash flow, having drill rigs on both of our properties turning and news to support that, while we continue to update on production and cash flow and further phase 2 expansion. So quite action-packed year for Steppe Gold to be able to provide quite a lot of news flow and hopefully positive catalysts continuing throughout the year, and I think more importantly, continue to build up our balance sheet again and our balance sheet strength through our oxide mine, where we have a significant amount of inventory that we're already processing.
All right, awesome. Thank you so much. So we do have some questions here. So the first question here is, the production cost for 1 ton of zinc would probably be the same as for 1 ounce of gold?
Bataa and I aren't the technical guys on the team, so I don't know if we want to answer that question without checking with our team. But certainly, we can get back to the gentleman who asked the question. Please reach out by email, or if we can get a contact, we'll get back to you on that answer. We'll have to get that answer from our technical team to confirm what that would look like.
Awesome. And another question, is there any update from the government side in Mongolia?
In general, Mongolia is in we can say mining economy and a mining country. So 90%, it's actually over 93% of all our exports last year were revenue coming from the mining companies. So it's mostly copper and coal and gold. And just recently, the government of Mongolia proposed a new law to the parliament, and it's been approved. So what affects Steppe Gold is the government is encouraging gold producing companies to produce more and more gold. So government is going to pay, the central bank is going to pay 5% premium on top of the spot price, gold price. So it's very encouraging, and we're hoping it's going to be effective next Monday. So government approved it, parliament approved it. So there is a little bit time, and hopefully starting from next Monday, the gold companies will receive 5% premium on top of the gold price. So these are the positives. Also recently, we also have Rio Tinto proposed to take over the TRQ shares, and it's very encouraging. It shows how they want to work even more, invest into Mongolia more. And just last week also we saw the news about Zijin Mining, Chinese company, investing into a copper company in Mongolia. So the more and more foreign investment is coming to Mongolia, and it's very encouraging for us. Yeah.
Awesome, thank you so much. Another question here. So what does the new zinc discovery mean for the already prepared for phase 2 expansions? And does it change any other timelines as you commit to drilling this discovery in the next month?
Yeah, so the new discovery is very, very important and very exciting. It doesn't change our path for phase two, bringing phase two online in about 2 years' time. And we already announced that we were building flotation plants to process these type of ores because zinc and lead already existed in ATO 1 and 2, and now it looks like we have more of it and quite a lot higher grade, and that hopefully continues with new drilling. So it does change the amount of drilling we'll probably do, which means we're going to do more. So, we still are going to be drilling out extensions on all of our deposits and doing drilling there to optimize and grow the precious metals, both in phase one and phase two. As a reminder, the Mung deposit is all precious metals. Doesn't have base metals, and 90% of that, give or take, is not even included in this feasibility study for phase two. So we're still going to continue to do met test drilling and recovery work on Mung to bring Mung into the feasibility study for phase two, which will grow our precious metals production. And then, of course, now we have more, what it looks like to be more material on the base metal side, the zinc and the lead, which we already knew we had, and we already are building those plants. So what it looks like, at a high level today, obviously there's more to follow up on, is we're going to have more revenue and probably mine life at some point for this phase two mine. So it doesn't require any more capex, which is the beauty of all this, is that this is already in place, was already happening, and now we're adding more to it. So it's a big win and a good start for the company on that side. We don't know the full mix of what it looked like, by the time you bring production online from phase two, of how much production will come from precious metals and how much will come from base metals. But certainly zinc is certainly hotter these days than it was before. And base metal revenue growth without having to pay for it is fantastic, a win for the company.
Awesome. Thank you so much. We have one more question here. There are many equipment needs for phase two. Is the procurement of these goods guaranteed due to COVID?
So what was the last part there? The procurement of
procurement? Yeah, is it guaranteed, or what's the status of the procurement? Right.
Yeah. So we're wrapping up obviously the finalities of phase two. Some of that work has already been done. We already procured the crusher, for example. That's going to be operational and fully installed, we think, by July this summer. So that's a phase two equipment and installation already being done today. But obviously there's some larger equipment like the flotation plants that can come off the shelf right from China. The plan is to put deposits down later this summer on those major equipments that are needed, with the goal of bringing them on site by early next year, I would say. And next year is really the construction year for phase two. So yes, we've started because obviously the crusher's there, paid for and being installed. But the larger flotation plants, obviously, we'll put deposits down and procure them later this summer, and with the goal of having them on site in about 6 months after that. We have a tailings facility design, engineering, and construction also being done by Knights Peacehold. So that will continue to advance. Again, there'll be more construction for next year, but the background work is being done today. And so really the goal is for phase two procurement is wrap it all up by later this summer, expand the camp now, then this year, continue on some earthworks and whatnot, and next year all the construction and installation of the equipment.
All right, and I think we have time for one more question here. So from Jeff, what is the base case production profile in terms of gold ounces for phase two? Second, what is the assessed risk of further COVID shutdowns within Mongolia? Has the government moved on or still front and center?
I'll answer the first part, and Bataa can comment on the second part related to the government and COVID. But the gold production on an equivalent basis, so we're going to produce gold, silver, lead concentrate with precious metals and zinc concentrate. But on a gold equivalent basis, our production profile will be about 105,000 ounces over the first 5 years in phase two, and then drop down a bit, but average just about 100,000 ounces on a gold equivalent basis with all those commodities I just mentioned for phase two. So that's about 2 years. So really, we're doubling our production profile on a gold equivalent basis. over the next 2 years. And the goal is to keep extending that 10.5 years that we have starting in 2 years. So in 2 years, we'll have 10.5 years, about 100,000 ounces on a gold equivalent basis of production. And, it looks like that's going to grow. That 10.5 years could grow, but we could also potentially grow that production profile with minimal or hopefully no capex increase. We could still grow that production profile from 100,000 ounces to closer to 125 or 150, which is our goal.
Yeah.
I'm happy to answer that. Oh, sorry. Bataa, go ahead with the COVID question, and then I can answer the next question.
Yeah. So on the COVID side, last year it was very difficult. We had the quarantine period from 7 to 14 days in each roster sheet and so on. So it was difficult, but now this year, compared to last year, it's everything is open now. We can freely do the roster shift without any quarantine dates. And the travel restrictions are lifted up, so people are started coming in. So this year is relatively much better, and it's getting even better. So the vaccination-wise, almost most of the people got the third shots of the vaccine, and the mortality rate and so on, it's much lower to compared to previous years and compared to other countries. So far it's been doing good, and I think the government did a really good job. And also, the company had own quarantine station, and we tried to, follow every recommendations came from the government, and now it's fine. Everything's back on online. Yeah. And
So let's
also with this shipments from China, the number of containers coming into Mongolia is increasing day by day. So hopefully by end of summer, it will be back to normal as used to be. Yeah.
Awesome. And last question here. I think we got a little bit of time here. So, are there fair value predictions for the share price?
Well, I won't give you what my fair value evaluation is, but if you look at comps, obviously, 50,000, 100,000 ounce producers trade, between $200 million to $1 billion in different jurisdictions. We have two analysts that have fair target prices over the next 12 months of 350. Stifel GMP has a 350 target. Hanneman Partners also has a 350 target. These are investment banks that cover our stock today. Actually, just went to site. Those targets could change, but that's the most recent as of a month ago. That was their 12-month target. My guess is as we continue to de-risk this restart up of phase one, and continue to advance phase two, and obviously continue to update exploration, those numbers can change, and obviously to higher. But that's a good start, I guess, for now. As a reminder, we hit $3 in 2020 when we didn't have more than 2 million ounces. We didn't have a feasibility study with 10.5 years more of mine life. Here we are today, but it's a show me story, and we're showing you that we're back in action, and we're going to continue to update the market, and I think we'll hit those fair value targets and more. Just may take months or quarters. We'll see.
Awesome. Thanks so much. And I think that's all the time we have for today. So I'd like to thank everyone who submitted questions, as well as Bataa and Aneel for their presentation. If you didn't get a chance to get your questions answered, or if you have any additional questions, feel free to reach out to the Steppe Gold team, and they'll follow up with you directly. You can also find more information at steppegold.com. Thank you, everyone. And any closing remarks?
Listen, I want to thank everyone again for taking the time to hear a very quick update. We're very happy to be back in the country. We're seeing it's open. We're seeing the buzz and the growth opportunities in country, and we're very excited to continue to update the market on a continued basis. So what we offer as a summary is production, cash flow, expansion to double our production, and still exploration and growth, as we've just shown with today, but on both of our properties, all that can be funded from our cash flow from phase one. So that's quite exciting.